Hi Cancer, welcome back to the Astrology 33 channel. This is your December 2020 tarot reading. Thank you to those of you who like, viewed, shared, subscribed, and donated to the channel. I appreciate all of that. As far as person readings go, I'm probably going to start those back up again in January. Just wanted to give you an update there. And as far as what we have in front of us, it's a Celtic Oracle spread as always. And I also pulled a couple of Oracle cards and a Mudra card for you guys. So we'll get started with the main spread. In the main situation position, we have Judgment. So usually I view this as Scorpio energy, and we did have a Mercury retrograde going through Scorpio recently, and also basically at the time I'm recording this, we're still technically in Scorpio season as well. So could just be pointing to that energy, but what I see here primarily is to point to something coming back around from your past. So maybe this is a bit of a delayed reaction for some of you, as far as maybe something didn't come around during the retrograde, but for the month of December, it might be coming around for you guys. And, usually this is something that you're meant to encounter again, whether it be an actual connection with a person or just some beliefs that you might have had, even some situation from your past, even if you're just reliving it in your mind. But that's what I see there. All right. In the challenger obstacle position, we have the Nine of Cups. So on the one hand, this could be saying with this in a challenge position, because normally this is a very good card, but this could just be saying that you guys might be, you might already have your idea of what you want a situation to be. So because of that, you might not be willing to budge. So for example, there might be signs and synchronicities that are pointing you toward a situation from your past, but you might just be so set in your ways that you're not really paying attention to those signs. So try to avoid that this month if you can. But in a more positive way, this could just be saying that this is actually going to bring you closer to your wish fulfillment, but you actually just needed that opportunity to come back around for you again. So that's another way that could be playing out. This is Pisces energy too, by the way. I forgot to mention that part. All right, in the foundation position, we have the High Priestess, which actually, speaking of Pisces, I usually view that as Pisces energy, and the Page of Cups, which is water energy, so this could represent your energy here, definitely. With these two cards together, though, I could just see this as saying that you're relying on your intuition to give you an idea of when the right time might be to extend an offer to someone. And timing-wise, you guys are going to have a full moon eclipse in your 12th house right at the very end of November. So coming into December, this might just be saying that, you might have gotten some insight around that time as to when the timing would be correct to move forward towards someone. That's definitely one way I could see that playing out. And for others of you, this could just be saying that right now you have plans to do this, but you're just keeping it under wraps and not really letting anyone know that it's something that you're planning on doing. That's another way it could be playing out. All right, in the past position, we have the Tower in reverse, Page of Pentacles in reverse, and the Nine of Pentacles in reverse. So interesting combination here, but the Tower in reverse, of course, if you're going to get the Tower, to have it in reverse would be the better of the two options. And then with the Page of Pentacles and Nine of Pentacles also in reverse, I feel like this is saying that this, essentially the phrase that comes to mind when I'm looking at this combination is you decided that you didn't want to rock the boat. So what I mean by that is you could have avoided the Tower moment because you felt like if you did come forward and make an offer to someone, you might have been worried about losing your freedom at that time. So for example, maybe you had someone you were interested in as far as a romantic relationship, right? Just as a generic example. But you might have been more concerned about, well, if I do that, so you might have been a little bit undecided, where on the one hand you had feelings for the person themselves, but you weren't necessarily ready to be in a relationship at the same time. So I feel like you might have avoided making the offer altogether because you might have been aware of that. You might have been aware that, okay, I really like this person, but I don't really want to be in a relationship right now, so let me just avoid that calamity altogether by just not saying anything, right? So that could have been the energy you guys were in the past. And for some of you, this can be around finances as well. Um, Whereas maybe you might have felt that there was going to be an issue with finances, so you might have just really just decided to be very conservative with your spending. That's another way it could be coming across as well. But for the majority of you, I feel like this is around a connection. In the present position, we have Temperance. So this is actually the major arcana card for Sagittarius. And given that this is for December, this is a pretty good time to see that card pop up. Usually represents balance. And I will say, for you guys, Sagittarius is your sixth house of work, daily routine, health. So looks like you could have some balance restored there. This is definitely a good energy to see. There's also going to be that new moon eclipse in Sagittarius in December, so could be pointing to energy as well. But yeah, it looks like there's just some things going on behind the scenes that are helping to restore balance for you in some way. Because I also, we see the angel symbolism here and also in the judgment card. So looks like karmically things might be working out for you guys this month. In the near future position, we have the Seven of Wands. So this is actually Leo energy here. So for some of you, this could definitely be something around finances, where you might have had some kind of a setback financially, and now, things are being reworked in a more positive way for you guys. This could be people, a lot of people might be clamoring for your attention this month as well, and you might just, trying to distance yourselves from that. That's certainly another way this could be playing out too. And if this was around a connection where maybe things had gone south at some point, this could represent you guys defending your stance from the past. Well, this is why I did what I did, right? Things along those lines. But usually there is a sign of some success with that. So that's a positive there. All right. As far as your influence on the situation, we have the Hermit, the Magician, the Knight of Wands, and the Sun. So interesting mixture of energies here. This is Virgo energy, which for you guys is your third house of communication. The Magician, usually I actually view this as the South Node, which is in Sagittarius. So obviously there's going to be things aspecting the South Node in December as they move through Sagittarius. Knight of Wands is also Sagittarius energy, actually. And the Sun doesn't necessarily point to a specific sign, but of course Leo is ruled by the Sun. So for a lot of you, I feel like this really is around finances for you guys. And possibly making a change with your job. That's certainly one possibility. But regardless of the scenario, for example, we did mention a possible relationship dynamic earlier. The main theme that I'm getting with these cards is that this is you really, digging deep to figure out what would make you happy, and now actually making the decision to pursue that, realizing that you have the ability to manifest that happiness and going after it. That's what I see primarily with the Knight of Wands and the Sun card, like, all right, I'm going to go after what makes me happy. So that's what I'm seeing there. All right, in the environment position, we have the Ace of Swords. So this usually represents having some insights around the situation. So again, like I said, especially with that High Priestess and the Foundation and the Judgment card, and even the Temperance card, it looks like you guys might just be getting some insight around the situation that might have, had you a bit stumped for a while. And again, like I said, you could look out for that as early as that full moon eclipse in Gemini at the very end of November, for those of you who watched this before December. And then for those of you who are watching this in December, maybe think back to that time. That might have been the time when you got a sudden insight around the situation. And for others of you, this could represent someone else coming to a realization around the situation as well. Because like I said, for some of you, this could just be a situation that's being worked out behind the scenes. So maybe you might be the one who goes to approach to get things back on track, but they might actually get some insight as well behind the scenes. So that way, when you do come back around, they're in a better place to deal with that. All right, in the hopes or fears position, we had a few cards come up. We have the Ten of Wands, which is Sagittarius energy. the Two of Pentacles, which is Capricorn energy, and the Three of Cups, which is Cancer energy. So your energy there. Well, what really comes to mind for me looking at these cards in particular, this represents the last 10 degrees of Sagittarius, which is going to be pretty much the middle of December. And then this representing the first 10 degrees of Capricorn will be the very end of December. And with that Three of Cups energy, could just be saying that you're hoping to, reunite with people over the holidays. So, for example, a lot of people you might not have been able to see people throughout this year because of all the crazy restrictions with travel going on and everything. So maybe that's really what you're just hoping for. Like, look, I just want to see my family, reconnect with my family, enjoy the holidays, right? Because no matter where you are in the world, pretty much everyone has some kind of holiday that they celebrate in December. So it could just be as simple as that. But for others, you just could just be saying that you're hoping to see work that you've put in on the situation actually pay off. And again, this could be pointing to, like I was saying, your work life, because this is 6th house energy for you guys. And, if you have been having some financial difficulty, you're just hoping that the work that you have been putting in pays off and you're actually able to take a bit of a breather. All right, and in the outcome position, we have the Ace of Pentacles, the Emperor, or Empress, excuse me, and the Two of Wands. So, interesting mixture of energies here. I feel like this is saying that for some of you, you might actually receive an offer. Now, with the Ace energies, to me, they're usually more something in the idea stage or just communication around something as opposed to something actually physically being offered. So just a generic example of that, like let's say you guys were searching for a job, right? This could be communication that, okay, we'll call you in for a second interview, right? Or even just they offer you the job, but they might tell you, okay, it'll start in mid-January or something, So you might hear the news of it in the middle of December, but you might have to wait a month before you start working, and then you do the math, you're like, well, I probably won't get my first check till the very end of January, right? So it could just be one of those situations. But with the Empress, could just be saying to remain open and receptive in that regard and let things come to you as far as that goes with actual finances. And then the Two of Wands says that, once you get that, you'll be ready to take action. Now, another way these energies could be playing out could just be saying that you might actually be extending some kind of an offer to someone, right? Possibly in that Empress energy. And then that's actually going to be what gives you guys that fresh start. And from the looks of the energy here, you guys might be at a distance from each other. But this is Aries energy too, so keep in mind that's your 10th house of career. So for a lot of you, I feel like this is pointing more to finances and possibly a fresh start in that area of life for you. But it could certainly be a one-on-one connection as well. And the bottom of the deck, we do have the Emperor actually, so I called the Empress the Emperor by mistake there, but we see the Emperor at the bottom of the deck. Again, more Aries energy. And like I said, you guys had that Mars retrograde in Aries for a while, so if there was some kind of holdups around your career, that could explain why that was the case. And now that it's finally moving forward again, and especially as we move to December, getting close to the end of the transit through Aries, you might finally start to see some progress there. All right, moving on to the Oracle cards. First we have Yang. There's the artwork for it, and the number is 1. So this reminds me of what I was saying with the pursuing your happiness thing. So I feel like for some of you guys actually are going to be taking action after figuring out what would make you happy and then just going for it, but we'll see what it says. It says the masculine principle of movement and creative activity, the power to make things happen, taking action. The Oracle's message. Yang represents the power of action, the energies that propel the world forward and manifesting thought and desire into concrete form. Now is the perfect time to act, for you can easily build momentum and make headway. What you want will come to fruition if you proceed confidently. This card signifies new life and is a sure sign that obstacles have been overcome. There is no reason to hesitate. You are the shaper of your destiny now. So definitely a pretty positive message there. And like I said, it does seem to support the energy that we did see and your influence in a situation where you actually seem to have given a lot of thought to what would make you happy, coming to the realization you have the ability to manifest that, and then taking action toward it. The relationship message says circumstances are supporting action on your part. It's okay to make the first move. Trust that you will quickly know where you stand. In matters of the heart, there is movement toward your highest good, so go forth with assurance. Passion is in the air, and now is the time to dance to the tune of love. Take the lead. So again, pretty positive message there as well. And I will say, for the majority of you, like I said, I was picking up on more of a vibe, primarily with that judgment card being in the main situation position, that this is someone that you would have had a history with in some way, but hopefully that resonated as well. And then the prosperity message says projects, partnerships, and all matters of relating to your business are out of the obstacle phase and on to the make it happen phase. Now is the time to stake your claim and get things done. While you can expect to be busier than usual, this card tells you that you have all the energy and vitality you need to accomplish your goals. Abundance is waiting for you to claim it. So interesting message there where it mentioned coming out of the obstacle phase and into the make it happen phase. That definitely reminds you of what we were saying with the Mars retrograde you guys had in your 10th house, and it's finally moving forward. And then also, that made me think of the actual why you can expect to be busier than usual. That made me think of the Seven of Wands, and maybe that's what it's saying, where, like I was saying, a lot of people might be clamoring for your attention, and you might just be, trying to get a little distance from that, but hopefully that resonated with you as well. All right, next we have Owl Spirit. It says, you see clearly now. There's the artwork, and the number is 43. All right, let's see what that has to say. And that makes me think of what I was saying with the High Priestess energy, and of course, like I said, the Hermit, where you guys get some clarity on what would make you happy and going for that. Okay, it says, Owl Spirit arrives to remind you that the wisdom within you is informed by your keen senses and the wisdom within the consciousness we all share. Even in the darkest night, the owl sees clearly and is guided by every sense it has, including the first sense of intuition. Right now, your sensitivities are turbocharged, and you are receiving messages from all directions. Owl Spirit reminds you to be wise and pay attention to what's between the lines, what is invisible to the naked eye, what cannot be heard with the ears, and what others may not be able to perceive. With all your senses aroused, you have much knowledge available to you. Clarity will come as you sit with all that you are sensing, allowing your intuition to guide you in understanding the whole and not just the parts. Let your wisdom arise and be your guide as you trust the activity of all your senses. The acuity of all your senses. Intuition is real and can provide the clarity you need to understand your situation right now. Your relationship, your finances, your job, whatever it is, you can see the truth clearly now. So definitely a pretty good message there as well, especially, like I said, with that High Priestess energy in the foundation. And the fact that it also mentioned, kind of like I was saying, for some of you I was picking up a pretty heavy financial vibe with this, but it could also be a relationship as well. So it addressed all that in there too. So hopefully that resonated. And finally, we have Mudra card. So the Mudra you guys got for this month is the Matangi Mudra. There it is there. And the keyword for it is authenticity. Alright, so there's the info on it if you want to pause it or take a screenshot to see what it has to say. But under benefits, it says facilitates diaphragmatic breathing, benefits the abdomen and abdominal organs of digestion, assimilation, and elimination, activates the powers of spirit, improves discernment and self-honesty, improves the voice and ability to communicate inner feelings. So if that sounds like something you think would be beneficial for you guys, we'll put the name of the Mudra in the description of the video as always. We'll wrap up there and I'll see you all next month. All right, bye.